I just wanted to come to you guys real quick on our first Livestream Wednesday. I am super excited, and in a moment I will start our first Livestream Wednesday. Y'all, I've been hype, and if y'all see me looking to the side, I'm just trying to go ahead and get my notes up, but I am super hype right now. I just finished watching a reel, and anybody that knows me knows that I absolutely love the reel. I'm like their sister. I'm supposed to be on the host or whatever. Y'all know that that was supposed to be me too, on the side, the fifth host. I'm gonna be there one day, but y'all, I'm super excited. This is our first Livestream Wednesday, and I know that the timing, I may change the timing, but it will always be on the first and third Wednesdays. So today is our first Wednesday that we are going to be here. Yay! So give me one moment while I get everything together. All right, I have my notes. Sorry, I hope you guys are doing phenomenal today. Let me go ahead and start because I want to go ahead and get this started and get this information out to you. I'm super excited, like I said. For the people who don't know, I'm Theresa, the Boss Ladies Coach. I'm the owner of T-Means Consulting, and I'm a certified life and business coach, and I specialize in mindset management and entrepreneurship. Now, like I said earlier, every first and third Wednesday of the month, I will be doing a live stream. Right now, we're going to be doing it at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, because now I'm in a different time zone, so I need to make sure that you guys on the Eastern Standard Time zone still know exactly what time to tune in, okay? I'll be coming to you guys discussing a lot of different topics ranging from entrepreneurship, hot topics, life management skills, spiritual awakenings, business consulting, mindset management, and so much more. This will be my time to teach you guys and chat with you guys. Eventually, you guys will be joining me on some of my videos, so that will be phenomenal within itself, okay? So today, like I said, it's the first one that we're doing of 2018. I wanted to start in February because February is a great month for me. February is a month where a lot of things happen. You can go ahead and kind of get everything of 2018 started, start getting in the routine, and this was the perfect month for me to start. And it just so happens that it would be starting on the 7th, which is my favorite number, 7. So it just seems more fitting that I'll be discussing this topic today on this first live stream. Now, I am truly a firm believer that you should learn from life's experiences, and the Super Bowl was a phenomenal experience if you were able to look at it and experience within yourself. Now, I know a lot of us, we were looking at the Super Bowl, and a lot of people just looked at it for entertainment, but like I said, you should always learn from life experiences, and there were a lot of lessons to be learned in the Super Bowl this past Sunday, okay? So this first video, or this first live stream, is actually going to talk to you about the things that you should have learned from the Super Bowl Sunday, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. Now, everything from the Eagles' big win to the Genius commercials are things that we're going to be talking about today because, as we know, it was an amazing Sunday, and there is just so much to take from it. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, the first lesson that you should have learned, is probably one of the most obvious lessons, and I couldn't do a video about the lessons of the Super Bowl Sunday without even mentioning this lesson. Now, this is the most obvious and probably the biggest lesson of the entire game. Lesson 1, never give up. Now, the Eagles were the underdogs this entire season, and throughout the whole thing, or this whole playoff and everything, nobody really betted on the Eagles to win. Everybody thought that they would lose, and especially when the Patriots made it to the Super Bowl with them, everybody counted against them. The only people that were really rooting for the Eagles were, one, true Eagles fans, and two, people that hated the Patriots and were tired of seeing them win every year. Okay, so this was something where the underdogs were able to really mean something to a lot of people, right? So what happened was the Eagles came in and they knew that they were good, and they were confident with themselves, but they never gave up. All right, they stayed in the game and they never gave up, even when everybody thought they would lose. Come on now. They were playing against the Patriots. Everybody was like, listen, we hate the Patriots. We're tired of the Patriots. But you can't deny they're a really good team, right? So that was the first lesson. Now, because, like I said, that was the most obvious lesson, I wanted that to be a lesson that I jumpstart this off with, but I moved quickly through because we all know that lesson of never giving up. And that lesson will be sprinkled within the rest of the lessons that I'll be talking about later on, okay? So show your skills, show your abilities, stay in the game, and never give up, all right? The second lesson is one that, honestly, I have also been having my own lessons in my own life with this, is praying and trusting that God is going to be with you. All right. So I say that you may not have realized that this was a lesson that you could learn from this Super Bowl, but let me tell you why this was. This was not only about the Eagles as a whole, but this is also about Nick Foles. And if you know what happened to him, you know that there was a time where he actually wanted to quit. He actually lost his passion for the game, and he talks about this in a lot of different interviews. He is a phenomenal quarterback, phenomenal player, but a wonderful person and very transparent. And he talked about when he actually wanted to quit and give up on football. He had lost all passion with football, and it had got so bad to the point where he didn't even touch a football for months. And this is stuff that he said. And he said at that point is when he decided to pray. And he remembered a specific verse. And this verse is 2 Corinthians 12:9. And if you read that verse, it talks about how when you are weak, God is strong. And how he's always going to be with you. So you should be happy in your weakness, knowing that God is going to pick up your weakness and be strong, right? So Foles stated that God reminded him that he will be with him always and through everything. And this gave him strength to go back to football and regain and reconnect with his passion. That's why I thought that this would be a lesson that we needed to learn through this Super Bowl Sunday and this Super Bowl season, is remembering that God is going to be with you and trusting God throughout everything. Now, in our own businesses, that could be a little tough because you're kind of like, things are not going well, or clients are acting a fool, people are not paying like they're supposed to, things aren't doing this and that. But if you remember that God put you in this place for a specific reason, he put you in this business for a specific reason, to serve others. So if you focus on serving them, and that's one thing, if you've coached with me or taken sessions with me, if you've talked to me, I'm big on figuring out your service to others. If you focus on serving others and remembering that God is with you and trusting him and trusting yourself that God put you in this position, you'll make it and you'll connect to that passion. I can actually give you guys a couple of times where I was not wanting to continue on in my business because it was a struggle for me. And I'm going to tell you, just like Nick Foles did, remembering that God is with me, he did not put me here for nothing, and I did not work this hard to get to this place for no reason. That reminded me that, you know what, I can keep moving, I can do what I need to do, and be where I want to be and actually succeed, right? And I don't know if people are commenting, because for some reason I can't see people's comments or anything, but I'm just going to keep going. And if you have any questions or comments, you can drop them in and I'll respond after the video. We know Facebook and wants to do what it want to do when it want to do. All right. So the third lesson that we should have learned from this Super Bowl is be humble and remain humble. Now, a lot of times people forget to be humble, and a lot of times people think that being humble means that I can't brag on myself. That's not necessarily true. It's okay to tell people what you've done, and it's okay to be excited about what you've done, but also remember where it came from. Remember how you got there, and never forget who helped you get to where you are. Now, you can take this lesson from the Eagles and from Foles, because both of them, when you talk to the Eagles players, the first thing they did was give glory to God and their entire team. Nobody said that they went out there and did it on their own. Everybody said that this was a team effort. They worked together as a team, and it was by God's grace they got this far. If you paid attention to every interview of every player, those are the words that you heard coming out of their mouth. They were never big-headed and prideful within themselves. They were just literally grateful and humble to be where they are. And even with Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl and being the MVP, people continued to press him about if he was going to be the starting quarterback for the Eagles next year. And you know what? One thing that he did, well, actually two things that he did, things that I talked about is, one, like I said, he thanked God and he gave God all the glory and all the honor for it. But two, he mentioned Carson Wentz. Now, if you know who Carson Wentz is, you know that he is actually the starting quarterback, and he actually got hurt at the beginning of the season or earlier in the season, and that's what caused Nick Foles to be in the game. But through the whole thing, every interview, Nick Foles never forgot about Wentz. He always mentioned that Wentz was actually the one that helped him get to where he was. He really showed that this was a team. This was a team effort, and it was by no means all of him. He showed that this was something that he's not going to try to come in and take over Wentz's place. He wasn't trying to steal his job, steal his position. He was just grateful to be there, but that Wentz was the quarterback, and he supported him in everything that he did. He also gave him great honor to even be able to be behind him. He showed that Wentz was one that helped him get to where he was and in the Super Bowl. And that's something that you can only do when you're a humble person. He never forgot him. And that even created more of a relationship between him and Wentz, because now it makes it a little more easier to do things and for Wentz to get back on his feet and get prepared for next season, knowing that you don't have somebody here that's trying to take your place. Yes, they took my team to the Super Bowl, but I know that I was involved too. And that's something that can help each other emotionally, physically, mentally. That's just something that everybody can tune into and be helpful with each other, right? So that was the lesson that you take from even how he responded, how he talked about Carson Wentz, saying that, this wasn't him, he didn't do it by himself, just giving honor to people that came before him to help him get to where he's at. Being humble is one of the lessons. And I'm just looking. Oh, okay. So the fourth lesson that we want to take from this is a small lesson. A small lesson, but it comes from the Tide commercials. Because these next two lessons that we're going to talk about comes from the Tide commercial. Well, not the Tide commercial, but different commercials. So if you looked at the commercials, if you actually paid attention to the commercials during Super Bowl, we know that Tide had phenomenal commercials. Their marketing people are genius, because they did something that I want you guys to all catch. They left a lasting impression. When you think about the different commercials of the Super Bowl, and honestly, I don't even remember too many commercials from the Super Bowl, to be honest, but when you think about the commercials that you still remember, you remember Tide because of what? You remember Tide because they left a lasting impression. You remember Tide because they used the other commercials to make their commercials. They use the resources and even competition to make their commercials. They made their commercials so that anytime you seen another commercial, you would think about Tide, because you would be sitting there thinking, is this a Tide commercial or is this a real commercial? They made literally a lasting impression. And I wanted to pull that into our segment and business and things like that. Pull that into where we are now. When it's time to show up for your business, when it's time to talk about your business and talk about yourself, make sure you're leaving a lasting impression. This can be done in so many ways, from your first impression, your attitude, the way you handle your clients. This can be done with your customer service. This can also be done with logos, business cards, marketing material, websites, everything that a client would see that is from you and your business. This can be done from your Facebook pages, Instagram, all of that, social media, resumes, everything. Make sure in everything you do, you leave a lasting impression. And you don't want to leave an impression that's going to be negative. You want to leave a lasting positive impression, something that's going to make you stand out from the rest. For example, when you're in the workforce and you're going on interviews, you want to make sure, and that's one thing that they always tell you, is to make sure that the interviewer can remember you. Not for a negative thing like, oh, they showed up 30 minutes late, but can remember you for some reason. That's something that we're always taught in school to prep for interviews, and that's something that you want to remember when it comes to even your business. When you go out here and you network with different companies and different CEOs and different entrepreneurs, you want to make sure that you are leaving something that's going to make them remember you, right? It could be anything from, for example, let me give you an example. I'm trying to use, okay. So for example, I went out and I was at a networking event and I talked to a lot of different people, right? But there was one person, I don't want to use names and things like that, but there was one person that I remembered through the networking event that I said, you know what, I want to get in touch with them. I want to connect with them, right? And the reason that I connected with them and the reason that I remembered them was because during the networking event, we talked and they actually asked me about me. They actually wanted to know about me, and it wasn't saying that they wanted to know about me just to hear me talk, but they were listening to me to hear what I had to say and see if they could help me or how we could collaborate and make something bigger. It wasn't what normally people do when they go to networking events, talk about them. It was actually them listening to me. That left a lasting impression with me because it made me feel that, you know what, this person really cares about getting to know me and my business and seeing if there's something that they can do for me, or if they can either use my services or if I could use their services. And it made me want to use their services later on because I know that they actually understood my vision and listened to what I wanted. And this is something that I actually do when I go to network with different people in different events. I make sure that I actually hear what they're saying and focus on the person or the people who I'm talking to, making it about them. That's something that a lot of people don't do, but that left a lasting impression. Even in a different scenario, where I met this woman who was also in the same industry as me. She was a business coach, and she gave me her card. Her card was completely different than what you would normally see as a regular card. And she showed me the different cards she had. There were so many different things. Each card was different. Well, not each card. There were, I think, about 3 different cards, but they were all focus on her business. You know what I'm saying? They all had her branding on them, but they were different. And she talked to me about the cards and things like that. That left a lasting impression because her business card was something that was standing out. You know what I'm saying? It was something that was different that I would remember, and it stood out from all the other business cards that I had gotten from the event. Those are things that can leave a lasting impression. And those are things that we'll talk about later as far as your logo, your business cards, your marketing material, brochures, websites, social media, all of that. All right. And lesson 5 was a lesson that I got from the Pringles commercial. which was another genius commercial, if I must say. But Pringles decided that they would repurpose their material. And this is a lesson that I'm going to bring to you guys today. Repurpose your material. There's only so many things that you can do with chips. They've added different flavors. With Pringles, they haven't really necessarily changed their shape because that's the basis of their company or their brand. But they've done flavors. Even with Lay's, they've let you vote on different flavors and blah, blah, blah. But what they've done was repurposed their material. There's different ways that you can use Pringles. And you remember back in the days where they had the little commercial where, I wish I had some chips, but they had the two chips that kind of looked like mouths or whatever, and they would play with that. That was a way that they showed you. You remembered the Pringles commercial with those little two chips. Well, this time they made it where you can create your new flavors with the Pringles flavors that they already had. And a lot of people, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the commercial, but the way they had it was like a pizza chip, and then they put like a barbecue chicken chip and was like, hey, now it's a barbecue chicken pizza flavor. And then they put a jalapeno and they was like, now it's spicy. And then they put I don't remember something else they put on there, but they made it seem like now you can have a spicy barbecue chicken pizza flavor because you stacked them and created a whole new flavor. Now you can create your new flavor with the Pringles flavors that are already there. That's how they decided to repurpose. They took what they had, their service or the products, and they put a new meaning or flip to it, a different way to use their service and products. And that's something that you can do with your business and your services, okay? Your products and your services. Now, sometimes repurposing can kind of feel like, what do I do? Or how do I do it? Or what service do I use, or what product do I use, or how do I repurpose, or really what does that mean? That's something that sometimes can confuse us all, but guess what? I can help you with that. Repurposing is something that I do most of the time with a lot of my services and products, and that's something that you can do to keep yourself running and to keep your stuff refreshed, right? So if you need consultations or coaching on how to actually repurpose your products and your services, or even how to make a lasting impression when that comes to, business cards, logos, and things like that, I can help you with that. You can contact me and I can show you how to make sure that your brand is being a brand that can stand out. I can help you make sure that your logo is something that people are going to remember, that your business material actually represents you and is something that you want to leave a lasting impression with. I create logos. I create marketing material. I help people and I coach businesses on repurposing their materials and their services. I can help you with that today. All you have to do is contact me. And there's another thing that we can take from the Super Bowl is, they had to make a decision that this year they were going to win. No matter what the odds were. Even when they went in the Super Bowl, they were there. They made that decision that we're going to play our best game ever. We're going to do our best. We're not going to let people distract us. We're not going to let the haters distract us. We're not going to let the critics distract us. We're going to go in there as a team. We're going to be unified, stay together, and we're going to do what we need to do. We're going to make this decision now, and we're going to win. It all starts with a decision. So you should have learned the life lessons that I showed you and that I went over, but it's up to you to take those lessons and make that decision. You have to make the decision that, you know what? I'm going to do something different. It's 2018. I want to do something different with my business. Maybe I need my logo refreshed. I can help you. Maybe I need to repurpose something that I did a couple of months ago that I need to redo in a different way. I can help you. Maybe I like the different services that I have, but I need to figure out how to connect them and create a bundle. I can help you do that. Now it's your turn to decide if you want that help. If you want someone to help hone in your vision and get you to the place where you need to be successful, to win the big game. If you need that, contact me. You can contact me here on Messenger, whether it's in my personal profile or in my T-Means Consulting page, Messenger. Contact me. You can email me at theresa@tmeansconsulting.com, or you can just go to my website, tmeansconsulting.com. We've learned so much from this Super Bowl Sunday and the experience of this season. And I want you to take that with you, and those lessons with you in your own business, not only in business, but in your personal life. Take those lessons with you and rebrand and repurpose and re-strategize to leave those lasting impressions so that you can be a brand that's successful, that people remember, and that people want to use when it comes to their services and products. Okay? So again, contact me and I will help you do all of that. You can catch me on Livestream Wednesdays every first and third Wednesdays. Remember that at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. As of right now, those are the times that that is the time that I'll be doing those Livestream Wednesdays. Okay? Or you can catch me every other Friday for the Fun Fact Friday, but you can catch me only here on the T-Means Consulting page. If you're looking at the replay or a shared video, go over to the T-Means Consulting page so that you can be alerted, and make sure you follow so that you can be alerted when I go live, alerted when I have special events, and when you can join me on the live stream. Okay? So I pray all of you have a phenomenal Wednesday, and you keep these lessons that I brought to you in mind as you do life and business, right? Remember, you make your day how you want it to be, so choose to make it phenomenal. All right? I love you. I will see you. Bye.